Back to story time with Dave Booker. Today we're going to continue on with another adventure for Soleman. This chapter is One Romantic Evening. Well, sort of. Perry and Persephone were enjoying a romantic evening out. Concert in the park with a picnic supper. Persephone was amused that even dressed casually, Perry still retained his elegance. Perry admired how Persephone could look regal in shorts and t-shirt. Perhaps the glow of love added a mist to their vision so that they saw each other as they wished to be, or wished them to be. Or perhaps these visions, so clear to the eyes of the beholders, saw the glamorous and handsome couple of reality. Perry was unpacking a tasty supper and laying out plates and napkins. Persephone leant with her back to a tree listening to a bagatelle by Beethoven. As they ate, they listened and talked about the music being played. Persephone spoke with a wide knowledge of many types of music and musicians, and Perry, though just as knowledgeable, was content as an enthusiastic listener. Over the course of the evening, the orchestra played a wide array of music: classical, pop, country, and even Led Zeppelin. Perry and Persephone basked in the warmth of good music, good food, and warm embraces. Persephone sat, eyes half closed, with Perry's head in her lap. The tension of the last few days had stressed him, but within her presence he drifted off. She felt relaxed and completely at one with the universe. The clouds parted and the moonless sky showed stars in profusion. Across the park she saw Oedipus and Cherin also relaxing and enjoying the close company. People were filing out, and the park was becoming spacious. The roar of cars faded in the distance, letting peace reign in the silence. As the area around her depleted, Persephone listened to the sounds of nature around her. Squirrels emerged, chasing each other around the tree. Crickets chirped to the accompaniment of birds. One sound suddenly rose nearby that was not so peaceful. A growling, threatening voice and a pleading, frightened one, soft and terrified. As the volume of the growl and the crying of the terrified person grew, Persephone readied herself for action. Laying Perry's head gently aside on a folded blanket, she leapt to her feet and ran to the shrubs. Arriving at a burst through the herbage, she expected to see a big burly man about to attack a helpless young lady. Big and burly they were, but they were female, looking very much like what a female truck driver might be thought to look like. The person on the ground was a small male, about 5'3", and huddled next to a tree, quaking. "Martha, please, just let me go. I told you I just needed a ride. I didn't want to do anything." The female dressed as Martha let loose a raucous bellow. "You owe me, punk, and you better deliver. I'll tear you apart." Persephone had taken the mask she had given to Perry and donned it as she ran. She looked at the young man and mouthed, "Go." He took off running. His look behind, the behemoth threatening him, let her know someone had arrived. Spinning around and confronted with a lithe figure in a mask, she lashed out. Persephone was energetic, strong, and intelligent, with an understanding that she was outweighed by at least 150 pounds, or probably more. She decided to see what she had to meet by a series of blocks, parries, and avoidance movements. Frustrated at not successfully landing a single punch, the lady, and I use the term loosely, leapt onto a small rise and was about to throw herself on top of Persephone. Though large and strong, Persephone's opponent was slow and lumbering. She avoided the lunge at the last minute with ease, and as Martha fell, Persephone leapt on her back, and with laces she had also taken from Perry's pocket, she bound her good and tight. Martha was struggling to break the taut cords and cursing Persephone loud enough to be heard a mile away. Perry was awoken by the sound and rushed to aid his beloved. To his consternation, his beloved needed no aid. He had realized when they first met that along with her beauty, she also had been blessed with competence. Able to handle almost any situation, he was her companion, but not a protector. Had she done anything that could be construed as against the law? Well, threatening a young man in violence and rape comes under something, doesn't it? Perry nodded. Assault or battery would suit the case, plus the fact that we were all witness to hearing the threat would make the charges stick. Martha looked up and her tough, broad mask fell away. Tears welled up in her eyes. I'm sorry, it's just that I was lonely. I picked him up one night. He was leaving the truck stop and thought he'd be good company. It was so funny and cute. I got a little carried away. I'm sorry. Persephone recognized the truth when she saw it and untied the laces. She jerked her head and Martha tore off. Waiting a little while, they eventually heard the truck roar into life and the grinding gears as she got the truck underway. Oedipus was a little unsure if they should have let Martha go. She might try that again. Next time you won't be around. Persephone placed a hand on his shoulder. Oh, she won't try it again. She was so scared of the thought of going to jail that the fact that she came so close would be a deterrent. Oedipus shrugged. Persephone had acquired the culprit, and she was hers to release, sort of like a fisherman and their catch. Had there been any major reason to hold and incarcerate Martha, Perry would have insisted on Persephone's wishes no matter what she said. The four friends left to grab some sundaes before breaking up for the evening. Seated in the hot ice cream parlor, they admired the 50s style of the place. The waiters and waitresses were in appropriate uniforms who rolled around on skates performing intricate maneuvers. Made a perfect end to an enjoyable date night. That is, until a couple of undesirables decided to try and rob the place. From the look on the cashier's face, Perry was quick to judge the situation. His glance at Oedipus showed he also had acknowledged a theft in progress. Suddenly, the two men positioned themselves unseen by the robbers. As dedicated crime fighters, they carried some of their tools of their trade on them at all times. The cashier was fumbling with the controls out of nervousness, and the robbers were becoming impatient. However, with their focus on the cashier, Perry and Oedipus were able to get into position without alerting their quarry. Both men undid their whips that they were using as belts. Their other hand was a small shoe gun. Fashioned as a small loafer, they held rubber cleats that were spring-fired at enough velocity to make someone drop their weapons. At a nod from Perry, Persephone and Cherin let out piercing screams. The men whipped around, guns at the ready. Simultaneously, Perry and Oedipus lashed out with whips and fired off some rounds of cleats. The cleats hit their wrists and hands, and the guns dropped to the floor. Stunned, the men watched as one of the skating waitresses swooped in, did a rolling split, and gathered the guns, sweeping off and handing them to Oedipus, who pocketed them. The cashier called the police. The two men, realizing they were in serious trouble, headed to the door to be blocked by Persephone and Cherin, who soundly decked them, sending them sprawling. A cheer went up in the ice cream parlor as the robbers tumbled backwards and lay stunned on the floor. The police arrived and took statements and acknowledged the assistance of the intrepid four who captured the criminals and heroically prevented loss of life and property. For obvious reasons, the bill for them was torn up, and when they left, another rousing cheer sped them on their way. On the way back, they agreed that, though it ended different than what they expected, a fun and exciting time was had by all. So that's it for this chapter, and we'll do some more. We'll do like 2 or 3. We got to get going on this, and I'll show you why. Where did I put it? Here it is. This is going to be the next book we're going to be reading, and it's Sheriff in a Small Town #2. So I've got a new version out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've loved writing this. I'm not just as much as I like writing any of my books, but it's always hard to come up with a second book on something that you just finished off. And so, anyways, that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you again on our next reading. So be good to yourself. Have a good day. Bye.